All right, so my objective here is to recap the sessions 1, 2, and 3, what the goal was. And over the course of the year, we've been making improvements. And so, what changes are we going to do for session 4? We'll look at that. And then I wanted to clarify the parent role in this meeting because I think that that is something that we can work on, working more as a team in session 4. I noticed that, there's different reasons that parents, sign their children up, and some of it is, I'm working, I don't have time, so you can go do this, and then I know you're covered. And I really feel honored to, serve families in that way. But I've also tried to make parent monitoring not take too much time. So there's just certain things that you guys can do that shouldn't have to take away a huge chunk of your day, but make a world of difference in terms of what we're trying to do. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll give you the details so far about the summer session, and then take your questions. But you can also ask questions at any time. So feel free to interrupt me. It's not a problem. This is informal. Uh, yeah. So over the course of the year, we started, if your child is in a group, then, they were working in the study group and uh, taking turns asking questions or things like that. And then uh, over the course of the year, I told the tutors and teachers to, now that you know where your students are at, who's highly achieving, who's struggling, and, think about the partner pairs who would work well together. And so we've tried to add in some partner work, after instruction. So hopefully you've seen that. And that's really helpful for the students to get to, ask their questions in a smaller setting, and then they get more attention. And then if they know something, um, they get to share it. And that's the point of the program, is that they would always be trying to further their knowledge. We've also talked to the tutors about gathering and reporting evidence. So you guys should know that you're free to say, like, how are they doing in math? What evidence? Can you show me where they were? What have they been doing? How have they grown? Can you show me how? And we have that data for you, and we've been collecting it, and you can ask for that, and we can create that for you, especially if you've been in the whole year. We want you to know that it's been time well spent, and that we're growing along with the students in serving them. But we've been gathering evidence to show that you know it's being effective. Where we taught the tutors how to use success criteria. So whenever we teach, um, we're creating lists of I can statements. So in the old days, you would have the steps to a problem, but the success criteria is like a checklist. So it is sequential, but it's the details of a topic rather than just one problem. So it's really good to use so that a student doesn't feel completely lost. If they know that, oh, I can do some of those details, then you can help them build their confidence even if they aren't getting something fully correct. So that's one thing we've been working with the tutors on. Also writing objective feedback, not just saying, oh yeah, they're doing good, but saying, well, they started at 2 out of 5 on the assignment, and now they've gotten to a 5 out of 5, and they can write the success criteria. So we can say that they know how to do it now. And we've also made it so that The tutors may be running a study group, but the teacher is available to and moving around in the Zoom call in order to supervise all the different groups. So whether your child is in a one-on-one session or a study group at that time, the teacher in the session should be making an entrance and observing throughout the session, and is also there if the tutor or students in the group want to click the ask for help button. So we really are working as a team. It's not like you know, it's not like you're just paying a gifted ninth grader to tutor your students. The teachers and tutors are working together, and we're trying to use all of the strengths we have to make an effective program. So that's some of the things we've done over the course of the year to improve. And does anyone have any questions so far, or see anything that you think we can improve from what's happened so far this year? And there's a couple of things in the chat. Okay. So session 4, what's changing for session 4? I think I alluded to this a little bit, but so this is on the website, and we think of the student as the executive branch. They're in charge of their learning. They have to execute. So they have the most responsibility for their learning. But the teacher and tutor also has responsibilities to set the expectations and on and on. But I want to focus on the parent responsibility. I'm not trying to call you guys out, but just to let you know that in some school settings, it can be like, drop your child off, pick them up. If there's a problem, we'll let you know. We'll let you know what the homework is, and you can help with that. But don't try to tell us how to teach. And I just want you to let you know that that is not our stance. We want to help you guys educate your children, but we want to work with you and not only for you. And we want you to know that if there's something you want, then it's valued input, and we're not just nodding our heads and then doing whatever we want to do. So monitoring your students' work, and you should know that you can use their login information to Khan Academy or Google Classroom and see whatever they have. And I'll say more about that. Making sure that they are there, especially if they're in a study group. The tutors and teachers won't be or haven't been contacting individual parents in the study group to say your child is late. So if they have a one-on-one session, then we can do that. But it really is the parents' responsibility to make sure that the students are there and on time, and also that they are completing their work before coming to the session. If they do that, they'll get the most out of the session. And also, just as I've been saying, make sure you can ask for and you can interpret the feedback given from the instructor. So just more specifically, during session 4, if you guys can make sure that your child is completing their work before their session. So they should come to each session, if it's a study group or one-on-one, they should already know what they want to work on. And they should already have completed assignments from school, and then they're coming with their questions. So we never want to do the work for them. We always want them to do as much as they can on their own. And in these days, so much is done online where you can even know if it's right or wrong on your own. And so, all year we've been using something called a session organizer. Earlier was called an organized worksheet, but now it's the organizer. So you guys should have access to that and make sure that they are posting in that, because that is the way that they can get um, learning out of the session, by coming prepared and and communicating what they need help with, um, making sure that they're there on time, and especially for the older kids, the high school kids in middle school, making sure their cameras are on and they're free from distractions. For some reason, high school kids like to have their cameras like this. And since I'm in charge of the high school, I have to spend some time saying, you know, come on now, professional camera setting. That's what we want to encourage, because, you know, uh, I think that's important when you're in an online meeting and you're supposed to be going back and forth. Have your camera on in a professional way, and also nonverbal communication. We can still get that even on Zoom. And then, I hate to put number 5 in there, because I think, like, we all know that cheating is wrong. But as a teacher, um, yeah, as a school teacher, what we have noticed throughout this virtual year is that cheating has become the new pandemic. You know, uh, I don't know why. I mean, when I was a kid, if I cheated, I got a guilty feeling inside of me. I felt ashamed, and I wanted to go tell my mom so that I didn't feel bad anymore. But the kids these days don't seem to do that. I mean, not all of them. And so they will Google things, they'll get the answers from a friend. And I've talked to a lot of the students, and they say, I do this because I can, and I get stressed out when I'm trying to figure out the answer. And so I just do this because it's easier. And I know it's wrong, but and I guess everyone is doing it. So, it's one of those things. Um, so we really all need to come together to make sure that the kids, and I don't think that it's an epidemic in the peer tutors of Maryland system, but you just never can say it enough that we all need to make sure we're always communicating. You know, you're not going to be Googling these answers or getting them from a friend. And if I ever find out about that, I'm sure you guys are already doing that, but I want to say that, we all need to be on all communicating that on all fronts. So, um, it's not required on your part, but I did create a parent monitoring form, so that if you want to be able to say, well, Mr. Field, you're not going to call me out and not have me do that. So I will, if you want to fill out a parent monitoring form, or have your child know, like, hey, I'm going to fill this out. So it has to be done. You have to be on time. You have to be prepared, because I'm going to be clicking yes or no. And so I created this form that you can fill out if you'd like, and then they'll have evidence, and then we'll all know that we're doing our role and there's evidence of it. Um, so that is the parent monitoring form. So that is it for session 4. Does anyone have any questions about session 4?
Mr. Field, this is Colette Edeme. So how often do we have to fill that parent monitoring form?
My idea was fill it out once a week. So just uh, check in once a week and say, all right, come here, show me open up your computer, show me the organizer. Did you post? Did you complete this work? Were you on time? I would say fill it out once a week. And of course, it's by student. So if you feel like, okay, this is gonna I can say, like, okay, I have to do this. I'm going to do this because this is what we're doing. But if you have a student that's like, well, I know they're going to be on time, they're past that, then you can use discretion and say, I don't need to fill out the form for them. But it could be a helpful thing if you know that your child is not coming on time or is not always prepared, or you get that communication from the tutor. Then you can say, okay, I'm going to start filling this form out once a week, or we're going to fill this out after your session, you know, and then when they get back on track, as you say, okay, we don't need to fill it out anymore. So it's there to be helpful, to communicate, and be a consequence to get the students back on track.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about session 4?
Mr. Phil, I know you communicated that earlier, but if you can just give us a reminder about that. So when is session 4 officially starting?
Good question. So session 4 starts next week and goes till June 3rd. So it's only 8 weeks, which is why the cost is lower for everything. Which is also a good way, if you know another family that wants to get involved in. I mean, the costs are low anyway, but now it's lower. Yep, same times for everything. And and then the last thing we have to talk about is the summer session. So then the summer session will start June 21st and go to August 12th. And the differences from last year is that everything is going to be in the morning. So the whole program will start at 8 a.m. and end by 12 p.m. And so 8 a.m. every morning, I'll start the Zoom call, and uh, the students will be free to log in if they want from 8 to 9 to work independently or in small groups. It'll be similar to what we did last summer from 6 to 7 at night, where I'll be, placing the students so that they can get their work done in cooperative groups or one-on-one, so they can click the ask for help button. And then 9 a.m. will be the second, third graders, and it's not just, it's going to be algebra 2 and up. So anyone who is going into algebra 2 or past that will be in this class, and that'll be taught by me. Then at 10 a.m., fourth graders, fifth graders, and the geometry students. At 11 a.m. will be the sixth graders, seventh graders, and the algebra 1 students. And then the reason that these are at these times is so if you want to sign up for the math and reading program, then they'll be able to do both. So 9 a.m. would be the sixth and seventh grade groups for reading, 10 would be the second and third graders, and 11 would be the fourth and fifth graders. And then outside of those times, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there's one-on-one sessions available. So whereas last year we did Monday was a extra day of class, this year Monday will be, if you want a one-on-one session as well, then they can have that. Or it would just, if they logged in on Monday and they didn't have a one-on-one session, then it would just be like a study hall, like log in and watch your Ed Puzzle video and take notes and do the assignments independently to prepare for class on Tuesday. So there is something that they will have to work on Monday if they don't have a one-on-one session, but it'll be independent work. So then the pricing is, if you sign up for math or reading, it'll be $125 for the summer. Math and reading would be $245 for the summer. And then if you want to add one-on-one sessions, once a week, then it'd be $180 in addition to that. Or if you wanted to add, one just a single one-on-one session would just be an extra $25. So hopefully that looks good, but does anyone have any questions about the summer program?
Yeah, I have a question. Will you be accepting first graders? So kindergarteners going to first grade during the summer session?
Yeah, my reasoning for not accepting first graders at the last summer and during the school year was because it was just so stressful to teach them the mechanics of everything. But now that they've all been virtual all year, we can add a session for first graders uh, if you think they can handle it. Do you think they can handle it?
Um, I mean, I wanted to know if you accept it because I have a friend that would need that. So I just wanted to ask on her behalf. So
Yeah,
I'll let her know. They've been doing well during the school year, so I think they can handle it.
yeah, I think so too. I just talked to another parent about the same thing. So
Thank you. That would be great.
yeah. Any other questions from anyone about session 4 or the summer session or any feedback?
Is there a price change for this is Victor and Josie. Is there a price change for the one-on-one or second grader?
Price change for the one-on-one for the summer or for the session 4?
Third grade. For session 4. It looks like I'm seeing something different.
It's because the session 4 is only 8 weeks.
Yes.
The one-on-one is $160
Okay.
instead of 200. Yep. So all the costs for session 4 are lower because it's only 8 weeks.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions from anyone? Well, thank you so much for logging in for the conference call. I know that there have been a lot of town halls and conference calls and this and that, and I'm really thankful that you logged in for this one. But if you have no other questions at this time, then if you think of something later, just send me an email and we'll keep communicating. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
You're welcome. And yeah, I'll send out that email with the parent monitoring form so that you guys have it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Have a great evening.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Phil. I think you have a great team of tutor in place, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.